Hello grade 9, how are you today? Hope you're doing fine. So this video is the first part of the chapter 6 of your book, okay? We are going to talk about food and its use in the body. So there is 4 major systems that are involved in the process of nutrition. The first one we're going to talk about is the digestive system that is responsible for the absorption and transformation of food into nutrients the cell can use. So for the cells to use the nutrients, the food that we eat needs to be broken down, absorbed by your cells, and transformed. That's the function of the digestive system. Another important system is the respiratory system. It's not related to food itself, but it's responsible for the intake of oxygen. Without the oxygen, you cannot process the nutrients. So that's why it's so important to breathe, because if you don't breathe, you don't take oxygen and you cannot process the nutrients. Another one is the cardiovascular system. It's responsible for the circulation of blood. And the blood is the main way by when the nutrients and the oxygen can go into the cells. So without the blood, doesn't matter if you have the nutrients or oxygen, if you cannot transportate this from one cell to another and for your whole body, it has no function at all. So that's why the cardiovascular systems are also integrated. And the last one, the urinary system, that they removed all that is not good, okay? It's not good anymore. So filters the blood and eliminates the waste in liquid form. So the urinary system is really important to eliminate anything that's waste, because if you accumulate waste in your body will not work properly. And when you process the food, you produce a lot of substances that are not good for your health. So you need to eliminate them in the liquid form in case of the urinary system. So in this lecture, I'm going to talk exclusively about the digestive system. This is going to be the first video, and then after I'm going to prepare the other one to explore more. So first we're going to talk about food and its use by the body. What's food? It's any substance that is ingested and sustains life. So anything that makes the life possible. So human beings must eat food and drink water regularly to stay alive. If you don't eat and you don't drink water, you are got sick and you're gonna die eventually. There are many kinds of food, including meat, fish, nuts, grain products, fruits, and vegetables, okay? So these are natural food that comes from the earth. That's the better food that you can eat, okay? Any processed food gives you some nutrients, but they're not so good. So the best is to have a health alimentation with natural nutrients, for example, meat, fish, nuts, grain, fruits, and vegetables. What's nutrient? So when you ingest a food, you are eating because you need to get nutrients. These nutrients are substances found in food that's used by the body to meet important needs. Each nutrient has its own function. So each type of nutrients plays a specific role in the human organism. There are six main types of nutrients: proteins, carbohydrates, fats, water, vitamins, and minerals. Okay, we're gonna talk about each of them. So nutrients, they are inside the food when we have it, the food, and each nutrient has a specific role or function in your body. So I'm gonna talk about each of them. Proteins first. Proteins are large molecules composed of chains of amino acids. So amino acids are small molecules. So it's represented here by these little balls. When I put a lot of amino acids together, I make a chain. So this chain here is one protein. Okay, so protein is a chain of amino acids. So all amino acids linked together makes one molecule of protein. So proteins are large molecules. And what's the function of proteins? First, they build and repair cells and tissues. If you don't have protein, you don't have muscles, you don't have hair, you don't have anything, you don't have organs. So because the proteins are the building part of your body. So everything in your body is made up of proteins. So proteins forms your body. And also provide energy. Okay, so protein, when you ingest some meat, for example, you also get some energy. Not so many energy, but you get some. There are a lot of resources, but the best one are the meat, okay, fish, chicken. So anything that is from animals are a good resource of protein. So you ingest a lot of proteins when you eat some meat, some fish, or some chicken. But eggs also has, nuts also has, some legumes also has, okay? So you have different resources. Some vegetables has some proteins, but the best way is the proteins from other animals. And dairy products also has some. But the best resource are the meat, the fish, and the chicken and eggs are a good resource as well. Carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is our favorite food, I believe, of everybody. It's composed of a single sugar molecule or a chain of sugar molecules. So here I have, for example, one molecule of sugar, and when I connect all of them together, I form a molecule of carbohydrate. If I have just one single sugar, we call it monosaccharides. For example, the glucose is a monosaccharide. So when you eat some sugar, for example, like table sugar, you are eating glucose. And these are single sugar, monosaccharides, mono, just one. And we have also disaccharides. They are double sugars, so they have two molecules. For example, lactose from the milk are disaccharides. And they are also carbohydrates. And we can have more, okay, more than two. So we can have big chains like that. We call it polysaccharides. They are complex sugars. For example, starch, okay? The function. The main function is to be a source of energy to your body. So when you eat carbohydrates, you are getting energy. And where do I get? Basically everywhere you can get carbohydrates, okay? But some you should not eat so much because you can get fat, you can gain weight. For example, any sweet, so for example, monosaccharides and disaccharides. Then fruits, pastries, sweets, carbonated drinks, sugar, milk, polysaccharides, also called starch, in breads, cereals, pasta, potatoes, rice, legumes, cassava or tapioca. So it's better to eat polysaccharides instead of monosaccharides and disaccharides because monosaccharides and disaccharides, they are accumulated easier in your body. So when you eat much, you'll get weight much faster. When you eat polysaccharides, you cannot eat so much as well, but your body spends some energy to break down this polysaccharides molecule. That's why you don't accumulate so much, okay? But even though you should not eat so much of each of them, you should eat a balanced meal, okay? So if you eat, for example, a pie like that, looks delicious, but you are getting a lot of sugar and you can gain weight. Fats. So fats, they are composed of fat acids and a glycerol. So their molecule look like that. So you have one molecule of glycerol and three fat acids like that to form a fat. They are also called lipids. Cholesterol, for example, is a fat. Okay. And what's the importance? They store and provide energy. So when you eat some fat, they are also providing you energy and they are a good resource of storage. So why we store fat? Because let's remember in the past when humans didn't have so much availability of food, they could, for example, do not find food for some days, for 2-3 days, for example. So they store this fat, then they have like a reserve inside the body, so they can be without food for some days, they still gonna be alive. But nowadays that we have a lot of food available and we eat a lot, so we store a lot, so we gain weight, and that's the problem of modern age, okay? But the fats has also another importance. They are building blocks of hormones and cell membranes. So the cell membranes of your body, they need this lipid. They are called phospholipids because it's made of phosphorus and lipids. So they made the cell membranes of your cells. So you need to have some fats to produce cells. And also, for example, to produce hormones, especially for you that you are in puberty, you need fat to produce hormones, okay? And the whole life you produce hormones, but especially now at your age, you're producing a lot of hormones because of the transformation in your body. So this fat is not just to make us fat, but also it's important to produce production of hormones and cell membranes. And also protect organs and insulate the body from the cold, especially in cold weather. If you have fat, reserve of fat, it helps you to maintain the temperature of your body. That's why I don't know if you know, but usually people who has more weight, they usually feel a lot of hot. I don't know if you know about it. And people who are thin, they usually feel more cold because the fat helps the body to protect, to keep the temperature of the body. So it's also an importance evolutively, importance for humankind. And how we get fat? It's also very easy to get fat in vegetable oils, in butter, fat meats and fish, for example. So this fat from meat and fish, they actually are good fat because they are natural. Okay, so you are ingesting a good quality fat, not just industrialized. For example, vegetable oils, they are terrible for your health. You should avoid, okay, because they are industrialized. Butter is better because it comes from the milk, okay, but especially if you have natural homemade butter, it's better. Also, you can get some fat from eggs, which are a good resource. Nuts are also a good resource of nut and fats, good fats, and dairy products, okay, also a good resource. Just avoid the vegetables oil because it's not so good for your health. Water. So water is not simple, right? It's a simple molecule, H2O. Makes up to 7% of the weight of the human body. So you need water to make your body work. So you need to ingest water regularly and a lot of work per day, water per day. And the function, transports nutrient and waste products. So water is the main composition of blood to transport the nutrients and waste products. And also regulates body temperature. And is essential in numerous chemical reactions in the body. So remember I said when you eat some food, this food needs to be transformed. And how is transformed? By chemical reactions. But for me to do chemical reactions, most of them need to have water to perform the reaction. So because of that, you need to have water to do all the process of your food transformation. And where? You can drink water or you can have some fruits, vegetables, milk, also have water available. But the best resource is to drink pure water, okay? It's the best way to get hydrated. So just drink water as much as you can. Vitamins. Vitamins are substances that helps the body to develop and to function properly, okay? So vitamins are essential for our body to work properly. We have 13 essential vitamins: A, D, E, K, C, B complex. Each vitamin has its own role. So I'm not going to explore the role of each of them here, okay? But each of them has a distinct role. The function. They contributes to chemical reactions. So the vitamins are needed to do a chemical reaction, and they helps in the energy production as well. And they are really important to fight off infections. So especially nowadays, the vitamin D is really important for your immunological system to protect you against the virus. Okay, so the vitamin D is really important to fight off infections, and also repairs damaged tissues. So each vitamin has its own function, okay? But in general, they contribute to chemical reactions. They help in the energy production. They help fight off infections, and they help to repair damaged tissues. And where do I find vitamins? In all natural food, especially fruits, vegetables, dairy products, whole grains, okay? So they are really, really important resource, especially fruits and vegetables. You should eat different fruits and vegetables. And one trick, different colors of vegetables and fruits give you different vitamins. So the most colorful is your alimentation, the more types of vitamins you are getting, okay? So it's really important to eat different vegetables and fruits of different colors, so you get different vitamins, and then you help your body to have everything you need. Resource. Eggs is good for everything, okay? Minerals. Minerals is naturally occurring inorganic substance with specific chemical composition and physical properties. So they are inorganic substance. What does that mean? It means that doesn't have carbon or not carbon like in the organic substance, okay? Each group of minerals plays a different role in the body, just like the vitamins. The function, they build tissue, for example, your bones or teeth, for example, you need calcium to build them. So calcium is a type of mineral. Maintains fluid balance, so the balance of your body helps, the minerals helps you to make this balance. For example, the potassium, it's very important to make this fluid balance in your body, and helps also the muscles contraction. So when you contract your muscles, there are some minerals that plays a role in this contraction, and also transports oxygen in the blood. So especially here, what transports the oxygen is the iron. That's the symbol is Fe from the Latin. Okay, so the iron is a mineral that helps, not helps, but transports the oxygen in the blood. If you don't have this iron, the oxygen cannot be transported. So it's like a truck. The iron is like a truck that transports the oxygen in the blood. If you don't have this truck, the oxygen will not be transported. And where do I find? We can find in water, the natural water, in dairy products, in vegetables, in seafood is a really good resource. Fruits, another resource. Fish, including the seafood. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the energy value of food. Energy requirements, what's that? Is the amount of energy a human organism needs to undertake to perform the daily activity. So each of us need to have a minimum of energy to perform our daily activities. This energy is measured in calorie, or cal for short. 1 calorie is the same as 4,000 joules. Okay, we are not talking, this is for grade 10, but joules is a measurement of energy. I'm gonna see in grade 10 about joules. And this energy requirements depends on a variety of factors. For example, age, sex, weight, level of physical activity. So who performs a lot of sports needs a lot of energy, and who doesn't need much. And overall state of health as well. Here an example for adolescent girl and adolescent boy. For example, the girl, she needs between 1,800 and 2,400 calories per day, okay? And the boy needs a little bit more, 2,200 and 3,200. So about the same age, boys and girls, they need different requirements. That's why boys eats, for example, eats more, and girl usually eats less, okay? Because they have different requirements. So this varies according to the age, to the sex, to the weight, to the level of physical activity, and your overall state of health. Now, how much do I need for each of these activities? For example, to sleep or resting, how much energy do I spend? So I'm gonna put in kilojoule. 1 kilojoule is the same as 1,000 joules, okay? So sleeping or resting, I need 240 kilojoules, as the same as 60 calories. Sitting is 360 and calories 90. Standing, just standing, 480 kilojoule and 120 calories. Weight lift, gardening, walking, we need 680 kilojoule and 170 calories. Or sport, for example, skiing, playing soccer, cycling, over 1,200 or over 300 calories. So that's why you can see how much energy you need to do the sport, and that's why it's so important to do sports when you need to be healthy and to lose weight if you need, okay? So, and what's energy value? Energy value is the nutrient, is how much is the availability of energy in each nutrient. So nutrients have different availability of energy. So energy value is how much energy each nutrient has. Carbohydrates and fats are the body's major source of energy. So they have the highest energy stored in their molecules. Proteins may sometimes be used as an energy source if there aren't enough carbohydrates and fats to meet the energy needs. So if a person needs to lose weight, usually the person reduce a lot the intake of carbohydrates and fats and take much more proteins. Why? Because proteins has a lot of nutrients and also is a energy source but less. So when they process the protein, they are getting less energy accumulate. So the body uses what was accumulated before. That helps the person to lose weight. Water, vitamins, and minerals are not source of energy. Okay, they are source of vitamins and other nutrients, but not energy. And here, for example, just to quantify, while carbohydrates has 4 calories per grams, fats has 9, and proteins has 4. But proteins, when you process proteins, your body spend much more energy to process. That's why you don't accumulate much. If you eat carbohydrates, your body doesn't have so much work to process carbohydrates, so you accumulate more. So even though they have the same value, it's better to eat more proteins if you want to lose weight. What's nutrition facts? Nutrition facts are the nutrition information that must be labeled in all packaged foods. For example, it gives you the amount of energy in calories or kilojoules, the nutrient contents, the fat, the carbohydrates, the percentage recommended daily intake for each nutrient. Okay, so here an example of a nutrition fact for one cookie. So let's say in this package, in one cook, pay attention, one cook, how many calories? 145, remember. So if you do, for example, if you walk, you need less than that. So if you eat one cook, if you just walk, you don't spend all of this for one cook. Total fat, 11 grams or 70%. So if you eat one cook, you already eat 70% of all the requirements for your day. And saturated fat, 20%. So saturated and trans fat are the worst fat. Unsaturated fat are better, okay? Cholesterol, you need some cholesterol, okay? Cholesterol is not bad all the time, but you cannot have much. So cholesterol here, it gives you 8% already. Sodium is a mineral, you need some, but not much. So here's 2%. Total carbohydrate, 3%. Dietary fiber, 4%. And protein, 6% for this cook. Okay, so if you eat one cook, you already have some of the requirements for your daily activity. So you need to be careful of the quantity and or about what you eat to not get weight, and not just that, to be healthy. Okay, according to Canada's Food Age Guide, they create 4 main food groups to make easy for the people to use the recommendation. Okay, so here's the recommendation for people from 14 to 18 years old. That is your age. What are the 4 categories? Are vegetables and fruits, grain products, milk and alternatives, and meat and alternatives. And I'm here comparing female and male, okay? Number of servings per day. What's that? For example, let's say the total, what you eat from the day was, let's say, 10 servings. From this 10, for example, 7 should be vegetables and fruit, and for male, 8. For female, the grain 6, and the male 7. For milk and alternative, 3 to 4. For male, 3 to 4. For meat, 2, and for male, 3. Okay, so from here you can see you need to eat much of vegetables and fruit, then you eat milk and meat and alternatives. Okay, this plate here gives more an idea about how much you need to eat for each. Let's say you have a plate like that. Half of your plate should be vegetables and fruits. 1/4 should be protein, and another 1/4 should be grain, foods, or whole grain or carbohydrates. I would say even less, okay, if you want to lose weight. And water all the time. So water, you drink of your choice. And it's better always to opt for water from plain water, not juice, not anything else, okay? Drink water is the healthiest way you can be. Okay, so that is the idea for your how you should eat daily to be healthy. Okay guys, so that's it. This is the just introduction for about the digestive system. And in the next video, I'm gonna show you about more specific about digestive system, okay? So that's it. Thanks so much for watching.